Hello, Budgie Nation! You can get Budgie from the pet store and be sick, like having a mites. Do you know there is a treatment? But before that, how Budgies get mites?
Budgies are susceptible to mites, and much more so than other birds. The sources of infection are numerous and depend, of course, on the hygienic conditions in which you keep your budgies. However, this may not always be the case. Budgies can get mites from other infected birds. For example, if you have a bird and buy it from a friend at some wild market, and then there is a possibility that the new bird is infected with mites and may transmit them to your bird. Also, carriers can be humans. But mites can't live on them, so if you have a pet, you will surely transfer them to your budgie. Budgies are quite sensitive when they are infected with mites. It is not just itching and wounds that can occur during scratching, but the problems can be much bigger. For example, they may develop a certain type of anemia. Anemia will occur because mites are parasites and need some benefit when they occur on the host. This is the case of bird's blood. Mites suck blood, so you can cause serious health problems in birds like anemia. There are also carriers of many bacterial infections and can cause certain beak deformities in birds. Bacterial infections are very dangerous, especially if they are not treated in time and if the cause is not found quickly. Of course, treatment involves the use of antibiotics as a medicine. Budgie mite symptoms. How do I know if my budgie has mites? Mites are indeed very easy to spot on your birds. However, the initial stages of their habitat on budgies are not visible. That is why there are certain symptoms thanks to which we can know if budgies have mites. The most common symptoms are coughing, wheezing, crusty skin, feather loss, and restlessness. Coughing and wheezing are very present symptoms. They occur when mites accumulate in your bird's body. The bird, trying to comb and clean the mites from itself, inhales their air sacs, which enters its lungs and causes serious respiratory problems. Then, you know that the infection has become serious. Breathing difficulties, constant coughing, and wheezing are caused by mites and prevent budgies from functioning normally. Birds can also make strange noises, which is a bad sign that the mites have reached deep into the respiratory system, which is very painful and exhausting for them. Go to the vet to cure your bird. Budgies that have mites become very distracted, restless, and very upset, sometimes a bit aggressive. This especially happens when mites appear at night, so they are not allowed to sleep and have a good rest. The birds then become tired and inactive and are unable to perform other life activities. Due to excessive itching caused by mites, they constantly clean their feathers trying to remove the cause, so do not mistake this itching with grooming. Budgies are often rubbing on cages, pots, and anything that would help them get rid of mites. Well, that's one of the more noticeable behaviors. This, of course, will not be able to remove the mites, which have become attached like parasites to your bird, so it will not help them. In very severe cases of infection, there will be huge wounds that will hurt them a lot. There are scaly mites that cause changes around the eyes, beak, and face in general. In these areas, the mites have dug very deep and cause white spots that are very thick and at the same time very, very painful. In very severe cases, mites cause profound changes in the skin. As they go deep into the bird's feathered coat, they cause peeling of the skin and irritation, a huge itch that is almost unbearable. Bald spots can appear on a bird, especially if the bird is constantly plucking feathers to remove the parasites. In the worst cases, the bird tears its feathers because it simply does not see another optimal way to defend itself from mites. What is crucial in the process of treating mites is to spot them as soon as possible and start treatment. If the mites overgrow, it will be very difficult and almost impossible to remove them without mites seriously affecting your budgie. Unfortunately, budgies can die from mites if they overpopulate. Diatomaceous earth was formed by the deposition of certain types of algae called diatoms, which are otherwise used to filter drinks, food, chemicals, and the like. Place the diatomaceous earth on the bottom of the cage where your bird is, and is completely harmless to both your birds and you. 7 Dust is also an excellent tool in the fight against mites. It acts as a pesticide and can be applied directly to your bird's feathers. Some owners avoid this pesticide because budgies don't like them, but it has proven to be a great and effective tool in the fight against mites. Olive oil can also be used. You can use it by applying it to visible wounds on the body of your budgie. Olive oil will suffocate mites to death. You must put and apply olive oil only on the places that are visibly damaged, and not on the whole body, because this can create waterproofing qualities in the feathers of your birds. There are also certain insecticides, such as chrysanthemum flowers, that contain certain substances that kill mites. Ivermectin is a drug used in the treatment of these parasites. Simply put it in the water your budgie drinks, and so your bird is treated by drinking water. Or 1 drop of ivermectin on their neck, avoid touching feathers. Can birds die from mites? Unfortunately, birds can die if you do not start treating them against these parasites in time. They can multiply to the point that they cause serious diseases in birds, such as anemia and bacterial infections, which can be fatal if not detected in time. Anemia is a very insidious disease. Mites suck the blood of your birds and thus reduce the level of blood in the body, disrupting the homeostasis of the body while introducing certain bacteria that can create serious infections. If you notice that your bird is infected late, be sure to seek veterinary help to recommend the most effective and adequate therapy in the fight against insidious organisms. Act on time so that the outcome is not lethal. Can humans catch budgie mites? Mites cannot be parasites to humans. However, humans can be and are one of the main vectors of these parasites. A single mite can overgrow and cause huge consequence for your birds. Usually, a person gets them from furniture or bedding, and of course, from the accumulated dust in your home. That is why it is very important to maintain the cleanliness of your home, but also the hygiene of the space where your budgie lives, so that you do not potentially infect it. The biggest problem is that mites are invisible to the human eye, and one cannot know that one possesses them. So, that you don't blame your bird for being sick, disinfect your hands often when you touch them. So, check your birds regularly, take care of the cleanliness of your home, and if you own more than one bird, if you notice mites on one of them, isolate it from the other birds so that the others do not become infected.
And thank you all for watching. I hope you learned even more, and I hope your budgie is not having mites. See you in my next video.
Watch next. Previous video, or is it cruel to keep budgie in cage? Visit our official webpage for more information and budgie care.